Festival and the Rutabaga Festival in Cumberland.
Saturday morning, May 14th, LCO-Ojibwe College Extension offered a field trip called Nature Salad Bar, where participants went out in nature and gathered edible greens and took them back to the college kitchen to add to an omelet.
I'm a college instructor here, teach all kinds of natural science courses, including ethnobotany. And so today we're doing an ethnobotanical field trip out to what's called a mesic hardwood forest. And what mesic means, it's medium moisture conditions. So you have hydric forests, which are wet like black ash forests. You have xeric forests, which are dry like what we have here, pine oak forest. And then mesic's just right, kind of like Goldilocks. It's not too hot, not too cold, just right. It's just medium moisture. And when we get out there, I'll tell you a little bit more about it. The trilliums and trailing arbutus and water lilies, they used to be protected in Wisconsin under the state wildflower protection laws. And those laws were put into place back, well, it must have been 1920s or 30s because of commercial harvest. People were cutting trilliums by the trainload, and they would ship them to Minneapolis, St. Paul, to Milwaukee, Green Bay, for boutonnieres, corsages, things like that. Water lilies and trailing arbutus, and with graduation time and weddings and all this, and they were wiping them out. So the state of Wisconsin protected those flowers from commercial harvest. But 1970, I think it was, Endangered Species Act came into effect. All of the old state wildflower laws across the country became obsolete. So now the only wildflowers protected are those under the Endangered Species Act. So threatened and endangered wildflowers. As you can see, they're not rare anymore. They've recovered really nicely. So you can pick water lilies, you can pick trailing arbutus, you can pick trilliums. I'm not telling you should, but you can legally do it, right? You can do it responsibly, and that's the important thing. It wasn't being done responsibly or sustainably. Let's take one leaf from a plant. If you take all the leaves, the trillium could either die or be set way, way back, because that's all it has. It won't send up new leaves. So if you want to harvest one leaf or part of a leaf, you can put it in. Guys, which one it is? Basswood, yeah. When basswood is young, the young leaves are a good addition to salads. So you can pick some of the leaves, again, leave enough for the tree to compensate, but try them. They're kind of mucilaginous, they're like okra. They're great okra substitute.
Basswood?
Here, try some.
Yeah.
Pass it around, try some. Aren't they good? Yeah. This is a trout lily. The leaves are mottled. I'm not sure why, but I'm wondering if it isn't the camouflage against browsers like deer, maybe, to make it blend in more.
They have, really dark modeling too.
That's
Sometimes they're quite a bit lighter.
And they vary. They form huge patches. We'll look at it farther in. Here's another interesting plant, and since it got stepped on, I'll dig it up. This is bloodroot. This is the plant that Indian people used for their war paint. So if we get the rhizome here. Oh, yeah. That's bloodroot. Here's the leaf. The leaf is really distinctive. Anybody grow poppies? You can see the resemblance to it's in the poppy family. A week ago it had beautiful white flowers, but that's all done now. The bloodroot is the plant that Indian people used for war paint, and they would take this root and they would put it on their face for when they went on a war party. And if you want to try it, when it dries, it looks like dried blood. You have two plants that look very similar to each other. One is poisonous, one of our very few very poisonous plants. The other one is a medicinal plant, which is fairly scarce. They look very similar to each other. But you see the poisonous one is called Baneberry. Bane, like, Bane, the bane of, wolfbane. Baneberry has pointed leaflets. And blue Cohosh has more smooth-edged, rounded leaflets. You see the difference here between the two? The blue Cohosh is already blooming. The Baneberry hasn't started yet. Blue Cohosh gets blueberries, just really nice blue berries. The Baneberry, depending on, there's two species. One gets white berries, one gets red berries. So I don't know which one this is. Baneberry is poisonous, hence the name. Blue cohosh is also known as, an old name is papoose root, because it was used by Indian women back in the old days to ease childbirth and for menstrual problems too. So it's a female medicine. Blue cohosh is in the mayapple family, the barberry family, and not very common. But we'll find patches of it here. Anybody have a garden see something like this coming up right now in your vegetable garden?
Yeah,
What is it?
I don't know.
Oh, come on! It's really spicy and hot. What do you grow? Horseradish.
Oh,
Yeah, does it look familiar? The baby horseradish leaves are like that. So this is a plant called toothwort. It's called toothwort because the little bulb looks like teeth. You know, the leaves of toothwort are edible and taste like horseradish. Again, just take 1 or 2 leaflets, leave enough. So this has just popped up since last week, since I was here last. Again, you see the pigment, right, as the chlorophyll is getting assembled. This is wild sarsaparilla. This is the original root beer, sarsaparilla. The root, it has a creeping rhizome, and here you can see the root, and that's what made root beer, original root beer. I don't want to kill the plant, you know, by tearing it up, but so yeah, so that's sarsaparilla.
Wild leeks, yeah. He's gonna go to a bigger pitch. Red sugar maple. Pigment is to protect the leaf. That edible?
Do you notice how the maples have fall color on the new growth? There's a pigment, they call it anthocyanin, that's in the leaves. It's the same pigment that gives them the color in the fall. So why do they color in the early spring and then again in the fall? Why do trees make fall color? What kind of weather do they color the best in? Cool, but also sunny. Sunny, right? And cloudy, they don't color very well in rainy, cloudy weather. What's the connection? This pigment is a sunscreen. And the plants need sunscreen when they're either putting the chlorophyll molecule together, it's like a factory, and they're all busy putting the chlorophyll together, or disassembling the chlorophyll in the fall to reabsorb the materials back down to the root or the stem. That's a real vulnerable time in the leaf, and so they have to make extra sunscreen in order to protect the cell factory when it's so busy with assembling or disassembling things. And that's why they color in the spring and fall. Not just the sugar maples, but
Jack in the pulpit.
What, we hold it, Frank?
Oh yeah, I did.
I'll hold it open.
And that's
for
the
you.
northern variety because
This is because it has the purple stripes. So that's the northern Jack in the pulpit.
beautiful.
That
Not edible.
festival, kind of like the Muskie Festival and the Rutabaga Festival in Cumberland. They have a ramp festival, and I suppose the town smells really delicious when they're cooking them all up in all these different recipes. So they grow in the southern Appalachians, and they grow here in Wisconsin too. They make a bulb. What I would suggest, for the sake of conservation, is just to pick a leaf from each plant. You know, so here you got a plant. Just take one leaf. The other leaf will compensate. That's the word. Compensate for that. In New England, I've just found out that they've gotten very rare because of. If you look around, you see it's all hardwoods. You have ash, you have basswood, sugar maple. Those are the dominant trees here. Those what are called mesic hardwoods. They are nutrient pumpers. So their deep roots will take nutrients from deep down, like calcium and potassium and all these important nutrients, and they will bring it up, like other trees do, and bring it up to the leaves. All trees do that, but here's the difference. In these trees, they don't reabsorb those cations, those nutrients in the fall. They leave them in the foliage when it drops, and so the leaves of the sugar maples and basswood and ash enrich the top of the soil, and they decay really rapidly. The worms and other invertebrates break them down really, really fast because they're so nutritious. And so what you're doing, you got this cycle going from deep underground. The minerals come up, they drop on top of the ground, and enrich the surface, making it black like this. Look at this. This would be great tomato.
Soil.
Oh, this is wonderful tomato growing soil. The glacier put this soil here. These kinds of trees like that soil, but then they improve it more and more all the time. Stalks of the maidenhair ferns were woven into baskets by Ojibwe women back in the old days. It is a lost art. Ojibwe people don't know how to do it anymore. West Coast Indians still have that skill, but there's things that were lost because of all the destruction that happened to both to the tribes and to the native ecosystems. These are two different species.
That's a grass?
Two different, sedge. The way you can tell a sedge from a grass, I'm going to mutilate this a little bit here, is because in a sedge, the leaves come up in threes. So if I hold it this way, you can see how one this way, one that way, and one that way. They're always in threes. Sure. That's a sedge. Grasses don't do that.
And the stem is kind of triangular.
And the stem is triangular.
Yeah.
Yep. I can pass. First coming up, you can eat the leaves of all violets and the flowers too. You can add the flowers to salads.
Smooth yellow.
So if you want to put some, you can bend the stem and tie them up in a knot, which is, but feel it, bend it. It doesn't break. It just bends. Leatherwood. It was used for cords for tying things. If you didn't want ferns. Oak fern. There's some more baneberry coming up under that little ash. These are all oak fern coming up here. The common elders are wonderful.
Red elderberry.
Red elderberry. Red elder. We call it zigzag because the stem will zigzag.
Zigzag. Is that edible?
No. No, it's a goldenrod. You thinking of calamus? No.
It's
Blue flag?
Wood nettle. Here.
They're-
This is wood nettle.
they're about this big around the purple.
Let's do it right now. Oh, there it is, right here.
Blue Cohosh.
Here.
Fruit.
Here's the
There's
flowers.
flowers, and there's some berries that lasted from last year.
Yep.
So you're washing off your leeks
My
there.
wild leeks?
Yeah.
Trillium? What's that? Is that Basswood?
This is Trillium.
Trillium.
Can't remember what that is.
Wort.
This is the leeks.
Lakes. So they're getting the wild plants.
There you go. Little cheese. There's my herb there.
Only one egg?
I'm a 1-acre. Yep.
I always cook them all at one.
Oh God, no, it doesn't take. Well, it's 1 egg. It doesn't take a minute. So
You just.
done.
It's just it's whatever.
What would you say that?
I call that a scramble.
Kind of a scramble
Yeah.
situation.
Scramble. Yeah.
That looks really good. All right. Yeah. So Steve Ross, how's the egg there? How's scrambled eggs?
Lovely.
Lovely. Scrambled eggs. What do you got in that scrambled eggs?
That's
Got some leeks.
have some leeks and there's some asparagus. There's
Trillium.
there is some trillium. Yeah. That's about all I think.
Okay. Making my omelet here.